My name is Ian Martyn. As Kent said, I'm here from Santa Barbara, California, and I'm really excited to be here for my first time on Ongaku Overdrive supporting Give Kids the World. So let's go with some Chrono Trigger. Awake from the street, but I can't tell you the things that I've seen. I'll leave all behind if I could just change her mind. I can't believe the things that you are telling me. But something deep inside makes me feel this really isn't a paradise. Familiar to me, did you cross over an eternity? We're both so alone, a warmth that we never known. So stay with me before our world starts crumbling. 'Cause something deep inside makes me feel this really isn't a paradise. I'm falling asleep. All the promises that I meant to keep. The sweetest of dreams. Was my life just taken from me? If I return, if I could change from what I've learned, we'd never have to hide. Everything would be alright in this paradise. So that was Corridors of Time, or Enhasa theme from Chrono Trigger. This is the second time I've ever played this song. And the next one is something I've never done before, and I hope you enjoy it. Here's some more Chrono Trigger. せればルネルナ투리과 내노 칼라에나 노 테레나 투리셀노 말레 Serena no meditan kaya nelmo turi san selno de marinai no Right, so that was Shala's theme from Chrono Trigger. And it's actually the first time I've ever played that song. So yeah, I'm hoping to have those released in about a month's time, and we'll see how they go. Up next is some Chrono Cross this time. It's more Yasunori Mitsuda because he's obviously a genius. But here we go. Here's some couple of tunes from Chrono Cross. I know Kent mentioned that I'm part of the Travelers VGM. We're a video game music virtual folk group, and we put out a few albums a few years ago, and then we haven't done anything in a couple of years, but we're starting to get back up to doing new stuff, so hopefully you'll see some new stuff from us in 2022, early 2022, hopefully. But I'm going to play the low whistle on this next one, which I play a lot in the Travelers, but these are very electronic tracks, which is something that I've been kind of getting into more, playing around with synthesis and that kind of stuff. So kind of a new direction for me. We'll see where it goes. I don't know. Tell me if you like it more than the acoustic stuff, I guess, or something. right, so that was Girl Who Stole the Stars and I believe it's called Scars of Time. Of course, these are all translations from the Japanese into the English. So there you go. Couple of my favorite pieces from Chrono Cross, which is one of my favorite soundtracks of all time. I actually do enjoy the game, but I enjoy the soundtrack way more. And yeah, I feel like for those of you out here who are video game musicians, I know there are a lot of you probably in chat watching this right now. Let's cover more Chrono Cross, because the world is full of Chrono Trigger, and Chrono Cross is an amazing soundtrack, and we should definitely make more covers of that. I'm going to work for that more in 2022, and hopefully we'll hear more from some of you all out there. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to pick up the Irish Bouzouki right now. I don't really need the headphones. So these next couple of tracks are actually... Let's see. What am I playing? I have a set list. Yes. So we're gonna do a couple of Nobuo Uematsu tunes from Final Fantasy V and Final Fantasy VI. I know that I just said that Yasunori Mitsuda is a genius, and of course there's room in the world for more than one genius, and Nobuo Uematsu is another one of those people. Absolutely incredible composer. And so these next couple of tracks are from Final Fantasy V and VI. And I tried to turn them kind of more into sort of like give them an Irish traditional feel, because why not? It's an Irish instrument. We may as well do that, right? All right, so that was Home Sweet Home from Final Fantasy V and Terra's Theme from Final Fantasy VI. Final Fantasy V, I think, is the... if I were going to rate Final Fantasy soundtracks in terms of how underrated they are, I would say Final Fantasy V is at the very top of that list, at least for me. And then obviously everyone loves Final Fantasy VI. I, I mean, that's it's a big blanket statement, right? But I mean, I feel like that's something that you can say that like everyone loves Final Fantasy VI. It's a fantastic soundtrack. Just so much genius. So much genius in that soundtrack. And everyone covers Terra's theme, so I had to as well. There you go. Let's see. So, one of the things I like about Ongaku Overdrive is that we're not assuming that we're playing video game music. We're not really assuming anything about the music at all, but since we're using the word ongaku, right, which is Japanese for kind of general music, I figured I'd play something from another Japanese franchise that I got into even before I was really into video games and video game music. I've been a huge Godzilla fan for pretty much my entire life. And obviously there's some incredible music there, mostly by Akira Ifukube, but also by composers like Masaru Sato, who was also, if you know the movies of Akira Kurosawa, Sato was Kurosawa's composer for a lot of the 60s. So films like Yojimbo have the same composer. But I was really influenced by the music. And one of the things that, I've got my Kevin shirt on, for those of you in the know. Lots of love for Kevin, right? But anyway, for this, Godzilla has a lot of great themes, but really, especially in early Toho is the movie company that makes Godzilla and a lot of the other giant monsters that we all love, but a lot of the early music emphasis was on Mothra, who had her they're called the Shobijin. They're two twins who are miniature and they sing, and they were two real life twins, Emi and Yumi Ito, who were a very popular pop duo in the 60s called the Peanuts, and they got them to sing for the Mothra films, at least the first 3 of them, and they were amazing. They had a huge influence on me and my desire to sing and my love of vocal harmony. So I'm going to sing 3 Mothra songs. The first one is actually composed by someone named Yuji Koseki, who wrote the original Mothra soundtrack. There was a Mothra movie, came out in 1961, that is separate from Godzilla, and is actually the prequel to Mothra versus Godzilla, for those of you who care. Anyway, the first song is from that, and then the second 2 songs are from Mothra vs. Godzilla, the follow-up film, which was scored by Akira Ifukube, who is the standard Godzilla composer. Let's see. I have to pull up the lyrics, because they're actually in 2 different languages. The first one is in Indonesian or Malay. They're very similar languages, very close to each other. And then the second 2 songs are in Tagalog. And again, like, I have learned this pronunciation from Japanese singers, and I do not speak these languages, so I apologize for any mispronunciations that happen. I do happen to know that the first song was modified for Japanese singers, so it was easier. I'm going to sing it twice. First with the Japanese-fied pronunciation, and then the second time with something that is hopefully closer to the original Malay. And then the second 2, I believe, are kind of closer to their original pronunciations, as sung by the Peanuts originally. So there you go. Little history for you there. I talk a lot. I need to take off the capo. Mosura ya Mosura Dangang kasakuyan indomu Lusto wila doa hamba hamba muyang langa bangu dagang don't you come la Kasakuyam Mothra ya Mothra dengan kesaktian indukmu restulia doa hamba-hambamu yang rendah bangunlah tunjukkanlah kesaktianmu. Magandang balon punta ka lang dito ka lang dito halika't maupo halika't maupo Mothra Mothra laban guerra labanan Mothra Mothra Tama Mothra laban guerra labanan Mothra. So those are three Mothra songs. Don't really know what to call. The first one is called Mothra's Song. Literally, that's what it's, Mothra no Uta, right? The second one is called Sacred Spring, and then the third one is called Mahala or Mahara Mothra. So there you go. Okay, let's see. There we go. So this next one is also from a Godzilla film, but it's not by Akira Ifukube, it's not by Yuji Koseki, and it's not even by Masaru Sato. It's by a composer named Riichiro Manabe, and he scored 2 Godzilla films in the 1970s, and I'm not the biggest fan of either of them. One of them is like pretty much my least favorite Godzilla film, but it's one of them, the one that isn't my least favorite, had this really cool song that opened it up, and it's called Kaese, which is return, like you're asking somebody to return something, or in English, save the earth. And as a kid, I don't know, it's a really catchy melody, it's a lot of fun, it's got all of that kind of 70s psych energy, but like channeled into something that's really kind of explosive and upbeat. So yeah, it's stuck with me ever since, but I've never played it before, and I probably should have done that earlier. So here we go. Tori mo 魚もどこへ行ったの、トンボも蝶もどこへ行ったの、水銀コバルトカロミウムハマリンドンさんどっちだ、シアンマンガンハナジウムフロムカリウムストロンドゥ、汚れちまった海汚れちまった空、生き物みんないなくなって野も山も黙っちまった、地球の上に誰もいなけじゃなくこともできない、返せ返せ緑よ青空を返せ返せ歩みを返せ返せ返せ返せ返せ返せ命の太陽返せ返せ返せ返せ. So yeah, that's Kaise or Save the Earth from Gojira Tai Hedora, or as it's known in English, Godzilla versus the Smog Monster. So there you go. That's not my least favorite Godzilla movie, but it's a really strange psychedelic trip. So if you're into those sorts of things, maybe that's a film for you. Not so much for me, but maybe for you. Okay. How much time do we have? It is almost time to go, I think. Just gonna check this to see if... Yep, Okay. I've got one more for you here. And I feel like I premiered this one recently, and I feel like this is going to become sort of my signature ending track. So it's from two different Deltarune games. We've got Chapter 1, Chapter 2. The second half of it is a collaboration with a good friend of mine named Darby Cupid. If you search for Ian Martyn and Darby Cupid online, you'll get to a place called Man on the Internet. That's where we post our stuff. It's an organization that does a lot of vocal video game music covers on YouTube, and I hope you enjoy this. And thank you so much. When the light is running low and the shadows start to grow, and the places that you know seem like fantasy, there's a light inside your soul that's still shining in the cold, with the truth, the promise in our hearts. Don't forget, I'm with you in the dark. When the light is running, the light is running. with you in the dark. Big thank you to Kent and Alyssa for putting this together. Again, we're supporting today Give Kids the World, which is a great Florida-based charity. Please, if you can, give something to them. I'm super grateful to be here at Ongaku Overdrive, and thank you so much for tuning in. I hope to see you all really soon.